Hello, dear students. I am Zeeshan Hashmi. Today's session is going to be a brief one, and we are going to learn a few very important things with respect to how do we prepare for the upcoming Prelims 2023 exam. So very shortly, why are we here? Now we have a mixed janta of both 2023 and 2024 aspirants. And many among us have facing this issue of being stuck in the range of 60s to 80 marks in our mock tests. Some of us have failed in previous attempts of UPSC Civil Services exam, and we are in that state of maybe confusion, or we are trying to figure out what do we do more so as to have an edge in the upcoming prelims exam, or we don't know how to improve and make correction, or we have been facing low confidence in UPSC prelims preparation in general. Okay, so we'll be addressing these issues. Next, what we'll be learning today is how traditional approach of syllabus completion and revision is not sufficient. It is not sufficient to clear the prelims. Exactly how? We'll be learning that today. Interestingly, what we'll learn more is how difficult questions are in fact easy and predictable. Now, this might sound counterintuitive in the beginning. How can be difficult questions called easy and predictable? But we'll learn that when we go ahead in this meeting. And the roadmap for 120 plus in UPSC Prelims 2023. What is that roadmap? How can this score be achieved in the upcoming prelims exam? All right, quickly moving ahead. So first and foremost, let me reiterate, guys, this is going to be an interactive session where I'll be speaking to you. I'll be asking questions to you. Fine. It won't be a monologue where only I'll be speaking. So please keep your cameras on. I'll be speaking only to those students who have their cameras on. So the three pillars of our prelim success, or the three pillars of being able to score high marks, 120 plus or so in prelims exam. What are those three pillars? The first one is the academic pillar. This is known to all, which contains syllabus completion, revision, mock tests, etc. We all know this. There is nothing new in this. The second pillar, which is the creative pillar, we use some logic, some trick, some hack, some elimination skill to be able to answer those or no idea. That is the creative pillar of your prelim success. Academic pillar, creative pillar. The third pillar, the analytical pillar, in which we use past year papers, PYQs, and we do PYQ based exam preparation and prediction. Again, in the beginning, it might sound a little bit counterintuitive, but it will make more sense to you guys as we move ahead. To start with, we'll be discussing on two major pillars, the creative pillar and the analytical pillar. Academic pillar, more or less, we have very good clarity on. Quickly moving ahead. Very briefly about me, I'm a senior UPSC faculty at Civilsdaily. I have 4+ years of mentorship experience. I've mentored 100+ UPSC rankers, including All India Rank 65 Pranav, All India Rank 117 Nisha, All India Rank 267 Soham, and many more. And 80% of my students have scored 110 plus in the UPSC prelims exam. We are being more ambitious. We are targeting 120 plus, but this is the ground reality. 80% have scored 110 plus. All right. Now, these are some words of gratitude from my students. Now, this is from All India Rank 65, Pranav Vijayvargiye. This is from All India Rank 117, Nisha Chaudhary. We won't go into detail of this. Quickly moving ahead. Okay, so these three pillars we have seen. Let's start with the second pillar, the creative pillar. We'll be taking one example of 4 rules. I'll be discussing 4 rules under the head of creative pillars as to how we solve questions when we are stuck, when we have little idea, or when we have zero idea about the questions. After that, we'll be moving to the analytical pillar and how we use past year papers to be able to keep ourselves more prepared for the upcoming exam. Starting with the creative pillar, the rule 1 that we follow is XYZ is done by ABC. Now, if this is the format, then the sentences with the above structures are more likely to be wrong. Now, some students might find this to be slightly repetitive. They might have seen some of my videos, but we need to reiterate this so as to have a holistic picture, okay, in this webinar. So XYZ is done by ABC. Sentences with above structure are more likely to be wrong. Now let's take some examples to get more clarity what this means. Now this was a question in 2022 prelims exam. Rohit, can you just read it out for me?
Yes, sir. With reference to Indian history, consider the Dutch established their factories, warehouses on the east coast on lands granted to them by Gajapati rulers. In the second one, Alfonso de Albuquerque captured Goa from the Bijapur Sultanate. The English East India Company established a factory at Madras on a plot of land leased from a representative of the Vijayanagara Empire. Which of the following statements are correct?
Thanks, Rohit. Now, this was a question which was considered relatively difficult by the students when they gave this exam in 2022. Now, let's see if the hack that we have just learned, what's that hack? XYZ is done by ABC. It is more likely to be wrong. Here it says the Dutch established their factories, warehouses on the east coast on the land granted to them by Gajapati rulers. Granted to them by Gajapati rulers. So we don't know the correct answer. Assuming we don't know the correct answer, we are taking risk. We take that risk. We eliminate statement 1. And if we are ready to take that risk, we'll arrive at the correct answer. That is option B, 2 and 3 only, pretty directly. Now, this was one example. Let's take another example from the same paper, 2022. This is yet another question from 2022. Karan, can you just read it out, please?
Yes, sir. Consider the following statements. First, in India, credit rating agencies are regulated by Reserve Bank of India. Second, the rating agency popularly known as ICRA is a public limited company. Third, Brickwork Ratings is an Indian credit rating agency. Which of the following statements are correct?
Okay. Now let's see if the same hack, does it help us in this question? Statement 1, in India, credit rating agencies are regulated by Reserve Bank of India. They are regulated by Reserve Bank of India. Now, assuming we don't know the correct answer. We don't know the correct answer. That's the assumption. But we want to mark the answer. So we are taking risk. And if we eliminate statement 1 based on this hack, we'll be able to eliminate statement 1. And if you eliminate statement 1, you directly get the correct answer. That is option B, 2 and 3 only is the correct answer. Okay. Let's take another example from the same paper. Okay. Now, Lucky Raj, please read it out.
Yes, with reference to the proposal of Cripps Mission, consider the following statement. The Constitution Assembly would have members nominated by the provisional assembly as well as the princely state. Second, any province which is not prepared to accept the new constitution would have the right to sign separate agreement with Britain regarding its future status.
So, as you can see in the first question, as you can see in the first statement, it says Constituent Assembly would have members nominated by the provincial assemblies and so on. So the assumption is we don't know the correct answer. So we take that risk and apply the same hack that we have learned, the same rule number 1 that we have learned so far. We eliminate statement 1. We are left with a 50-50 situation between B and D. Either it is 2 only or it is neither 1 and 2. So, and statement 2 is relatively easy. Using our pre-existing knowledge, statement 2 is relatively more doable and we approach closer to the correct answer. Let's take Another example from the same paper, 2022 prelims. Sakshi, please read it out.
Yes, sir. Consider the following statement. First, Vietnam has been one of the fastest growing economies in the world in the recent year. Second, Vietnam is led by a multi-party political system. Third, Vietnam's economic growth is linked to its integration with global supply chain and focus on exports. Fourth, for a long
Continue.
yes, sir. For a long time, Vietnam's low labor cost and stable exchange rate have attracted global manufacturers. Fifth, Vietnam has the most productive e-service sector in the Indo-Pacific region.
Okay. Again, this question was such a question which had caught students off guard relatively. Here, assuming again we don't know the correct answer, but we are taking ready to take that risk. We are ready to think creatively. So if we use that particular rule number 1 that we have learned so far, statement 2 says Vietnam is led by a multi-party political system. If we eliminate statement 2, we are left with B and C. Now between B and C, the choice is relatively easier, or at worst, even in the worst case scenario, we are in a 50-50 situation despite having no idea about the question. Let's move ahead very quickly. Now this is yet another question from the same paper, 2022 prelims. Vaibhav, please read it out.
With reference to United Nations Credentials Committee, consider the following statements. Number 1, it is committee set up by UN Security Council and work under its supervision. Number 2, it traditionally meets in March, June, and September every year. Number 3, it assesses the credentials of all UN members before submitting a report.
Fine. Here, if we know the correct answer, well and good. But assuming we don't know the correct answer, we are following the same rule number 1, hack number 1. Statement 1, it is a committee set up by the UN Security Council. A committee set up by the UN Security Council. And so we eliminate statement 1. We are left with A and C. It is either 3 only or 2 and logical skills in detail, because that won't be possible to be done in a single workshop. Just to iterate quickly, here we use another paper solving skill. The statement says it traditionally meets in March, June, September every year. So here there is a skill, a trick, paper solving trick, which we call as overemphasis or spotting the superfluous words. Using that, we eliminate statement 2 and we get the correct answer. So here we use 2 rules. One is the rule number 1, the language of the statement that we have been probing, and other logical paper solving skill that we have used here of overemphasis. And we get the correct answer, 3 only. Let's quickly move ahead. Loksai, Teja, do you follow so far?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So Loksai, let's move ahead. Rule number 2.
Yes,
so far, under the creative pillar category, we have learned 1 rule. Rule number 2, under creative thinking or under the creative pillar of our prelims. The rule number 2 is, if the statement says Indian Constitution defines or Indian Constitution states X, Y, Z, if this is the format of the statement, statements with above structure are more likely to be wrong. Now let's see some examples from 2022 paper itself. Statement 1, Loksai, please read it out.
Yes, sir. The Constitution of India classifies the minister into 4 ranks, vice versa. Cabinet Minister, Minister of State with independent charge, Minister of State and Deputy Minister. Number 2, the total number of ministers in the Union government, including the Prime Minister, shall not exceed 15% of the total number of members in the Lok Sabha.
Fine. Again, statement 1, the rule number 2 that we have just learned, Indian Constitution defines or state X, Y, Z. Statements with above structure are more likely to be wrong. Statement 1, the Constitution of India classifies ministers into X, Y, Z, whatever. Assuming we don't know the correct answer, we are taking risk. We eliminate statement 1, we are left with B and D. Either it is true only or D, neither one nor 2. Statement 2 is relatively more doable using our pre-existing knowledge. Total number of ministers in the union government, including the PM, shall not exceed 15%. This we have read as part of our basic Lakshmikant Gyan. Okay? So we can safely arrive at option 2, option B, 2 only as our answer. Let's quickly move ahead. This is yet another example from 2022 itself. 2. Shubham, please read the question.
Yes, sir. Attorney General of India and Solicitor General of India are the only officers of the government who are allowed to participate in the meetings of the Parliament of India. According to the Constitution of India, the Attorney General of India submits his resignation when the government which appointed him resigns.
All right. So again, statement 2 says, according to the Constitution of India, the Attorney General of India submits X, Y, Z, whatever. Again, according to the Constitution. Now, this value is being ascribed. Something is being done according to the Constitution. Assuming we don't know the correct answer. Assuming we don't know the correct answer, we are taking risk. If we eliminate statement 2, we are left with A and D, either one only and neither one nor 2. Here, statement 1 says, Attorney General of India. Just a moment. Attorney General of India, only officers of the government who are allowed to participate in the meetings of the Parliament of India. We use our pre-existing knowledge. Attorney. Now, statement 1 is patently wrong. Lakshmikant Gyan will be able to eliminate statement 1 as well and mark option D. Even in the worst case scenario, we have a choice between 50-50. Let's quickly move ahead. Okay, now this is third example from 2022 prelims itself, which follows rule number 2. Avinash, please read it out. You're on mute, Avinash.
Sorry, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, Avinash, go on.
Pursuant to the report HM's annual committee, the Contempt of Court Act 1971 was passed. Second, the Constitution of India empowers the Supreme Court and the High Court to punish for contempt of themselves. Third, the Constitution of India defines the civil contempt and criminal contempt. And fourth, the Parliament is vested with the powers to make laws on contempt of court. Which of the statements become our correct?
All right. So again, statement 3 says, both statement 2 and 3 have this format. Statement 2 says, the Constitution of India empowers XYZ, whatever. Statement 3 says, the Constitution of India defines XYZ, whatever. Now, the interesting part in this question is, assuming we don't know the correct answer, and we have observed both these statements follow a similar format in accordance to the rule that we have learned just now. There is no option. If we even try to eliminate both 2 and 3, there is no such option given by UPSC. So our job becomes more easy. Now we have to prioritize between statement 2 and statement 3, which is more likely to be wrong. Statement 2, the Constitution of India empowers Supreme Court and High Courts to punish for contempt, and the Supreme Court of India defines civil contempt and criminal contempt. Now, statement 2 is relatively well known, or even if it is not read quite rigorously by someone, we can assume it to have a green flag because Supreme Court, High Courts are being empowered to punish compared to statement 3. We are taking risk between 2 and 3. If our choice is between 2 and 3, we eliminate statement 3. We are left with option A and B. It is 1 and 2 only, or 1, 2 and 4 only. We mark option B, 1, 2 and 4. In India, the Parliament is vested with the powers to make laws on contempt of court. Now, again, this is a very feasible statement. Now, feasibility test is yet another logical paper solving skill that we learn. something that is practical, something that is possible, something that is feasible. You don't have a strong reason to eliminate it. So we'll include 4 in the answer. We mark 1, 2, and 4 as our correct answer. Sakshi, do you follow so far?
No, sir, just join yet.
You have just joined.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Others.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Others. Who's this?
Yes, sir.
Sir, Srijan.
Srijam.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Srijam.
Sir, I have a doubt regarding rule 1.
Okay, we'll come back to rule 1. Let's first finish rule 2. Do you have a doubt with respect to rule 2?
No, sir. So far it's okay. But rule 1, like I'm
Fine.
paranoid.
When I'm done with the entire thing, I'll take your questions. Okay? I'll take your questions. Now let's quickly move ahead. Rule number 3, under the creative pillar. We are still discussing the creative pillar. We are yet to go ahead with the analytical pillar. Rule number 3, probing feasibility of options. Probing feasibility of the given options. Feasible or practical statements are more likely to be correct. Now let's take an example from 2022. Here, quickly read it out. Shubham has already read. Ranjit, read it out, please. Can you hear me, Ranjit? Raminder?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Which of the following statements about Sangam literature in ancient South India is correct? A. Sangam poems are devoid of any reference to material culture. B. The social classification of Varna was known to Sangam poets. C. Sangam poets have no reference to warrior ethic. D. Refers to magical forces as irrational.
Okay. Now again, assuming we don't know the direct answer to this question, we have read about Sangam period, somewhat about Sangam literature, but we don't know the correct answer with 100% certainty. Here we use feasibility test. We go through all the options. What does option B say? The social classification of Varna was known to Sangam poets. Now we are saying this is feasible. Why are we saying so? Can I safely say, Indu Kumari, can I safely say that Varna system has been quite well rooted in our society for centuries, many centuries, and it was known to common man. If it was known to the common lot, poets stand on a higher pedestal, at least intellectually, right? So it is highly likely that the poets knew about the Varna system or Varna classification. Can we say so safely? Indu, Srijan? It is highly likely.
Yes, sir.
So assuming we don't know the correct answer, we use feasibility test and we mark option B as our correct answer. Moving ahead, rule number 4, we'll be just discussing 4 rules under the creative pillar. We won't extend it too much. Fourth and last rule under the creative pillar head: spot overemphasis or over exaggeration in statements. Such statements are more likely to be wrong. Now let's take an example from 2022 prelims. Srijan has just read a question. Harminder has read. Kumaresan, can you read it out, please? Kumaresan, can you hear me? Avinash?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please read it out.
With the reference to India, consider the following statement. Monazite is a source of rare earth. Second, the monazite contains the thorium. Monazite. Third, the monazite occurs naturally in the entire Indian coastal sands in India. Fourth, the Indian government bodies only can process or export monazite. Which of the statements gives above are correct?
Okay. So again, this is relatively easier. This is part of our pre-existing Gyan. Statement 3, monazite occurs naturally in the entire Indian coastal sands. Now we all have read this in our basic NCRTs that monazite is found in sands, beach sands of Kerala. We all know this, right? But again, there is this possibility of being confused in the examination hall owing to the exam pressure. So
This also
how has
doesn't pass
UPSC?
the feasibility test. So
Yeah.
statement
So
three.
yeah.
It's
See,
not
how
feasible.
has UPSC made it wrong? It says monazite, entire Indian coastal sands. Now earlier UPSC used other group of words for making the statements so-called extreme. For example, all, none. Now gone are those days. UPSC has evolved the way it frames its questions. Okay, you will have statements, you will have questions using these so-called extreme words, all and none, which would be correct. But the principle here remains same. UPSC, the paper setter, is adding emphasis in the statement using some other language, some other words here by saying monazite occurs naturally in the entire Indian coastal sands in India. And if we are ready to eliminate statement 3, assuming we are not sure about statement 3, we are taking risk. If we eliminate statement 3, we directly get the correct answer. 1, 2, and 4 only is the correct answer. But I'll take your questions, Kumar. I'll take your questions. 1, 2, and 4 only is the correct answer in this case. Kumar, quickly, what's your doubt?
Saying this question only, the fourth option only is also mentioned. It's also an extreme word.
Exactly. So these so-called extreme words, okay, which were very convenient earlier, okay, to spot emphasis in the statements, UPSC has evolved its way of framing questions. Fine. Okay. Harminder, do you follow so far? Rohit?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. Now let's quickly move ahead. We have just taken a few examples as to how we utilize the second pillar, the creative pillar of our prelims preparation. Now we'll have a look at the third pillar, that is the analytical pillar. Analytical pillar of our prelims preparation. Again, just as we saw 4 rules in the previous pillar, levels of analysis, 4 levels of analysis, 4 degrees of analysis with respect to how we analyze, how we use past year papers. Because all of us know, hum sabko pata hai that we need to analyze PYQs. But how exactly do we analyze PYQs? कैसे analyze करना है PYQs को? No, that is something about which we tend to have that lack of clarity. Today, we'll try to get more clarity with respect to this analytical pillar. Now, what is level 1 analysis? Level 1 analysis mein, we probe the basic information on the keywords given in the past year paper. Let's understand this by taking some examples. Now, this is a question from 2021 in which 4 options were given. One of the options was polyethylene terephthalate. We do level 1 analysis of all the options. ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ option C पर हम कर रहे हैं. We do this level 1 analysis for all the options, including polyethylene. Why do we do it? Because the main idea in our mind that is fueling this analysis is that past year papers are never a random piece of document. They are never haphazard. They are never random. They are always methodical in nature. So if polyethylene terephthalate or other options have been given place in the question paper, so probably it is highly likely that these terms, these keywords are on the radar of the paper setter. They are on the radar of UPSC. So we do level 1 analysis. We just open our browser. We search for polyethylene terephthalate, the exact keyword that has been given here in the question. We get many results. We open one. Now this is from Britannica Encyclopedia. We'll get the same information in many other sources on many other pages. What does it say? PET fibers, that is polyethylene terephthalate fibers, can be blended with wool, cotton. Now this is explicitly given. What else is given? PET is the most widely recycled plastic. In the very next year, in 2022, we had this question, and statement 1 and statement 3 are directly drawn from this analysis that we did. Statement 1, its fibers can be blended with wool and cotton fibers. Statement 2, bottles made of it can be recycled into other products. This is what we understood by doing level 1 analysis on this particular keyword and other keywords that we saw in this particular question. And we were quite well prepared for this particular question in the very next year, just by probing the basic information on the keywords given in the past year papers. Now that is level 1 analysis. Let's take another example. Now this is a question from 2020 prelims paper. Now statement 2 here says Central Groundwater Authority was formed under the Environment Protection Act. So we do our basic level 1 analysis on the keywords given to us, and we just note down the pertinent information that we come through. But what is more important, what is more interesting is UPSC picked up this statement, UPSC 2 from 2020 PYQ, to form an exact question out of it. Here it says, and it has been constituted under the Environment Protection Act 1986. The answer is Central Groundwater Authority. Now, because it was our cardinal duty, if PYQs are our Bible, it is our cardinal duty to analyze PYQs. So we were ready. We had done level 1 analysis on this, but UPSC just picked it up directly and framed this question in 2022, to which we got a direct answer. Now let's take example of level 2 analysis under the analytical pillar head. What is level 2 analysis? We use context given to us by the PYQs. So we probe the context. It is already given to us by the PYQ. Let's take an example. Now this is a question. This is a question from 2022, and 3 organisms has been given, and the context the question is asking about. The question is asking about symbiotic relationship, cnidarians, fungi, protozoa. So we probe on these 3 creatures, and with which other creatures can they form symbiotic relationships. So we do so even for fungi. We search fungi symbiotic relationship examples. We get many results. We open a few results, and in those results we find the same information, which says atine ants and cultivated fungi. So here we come to know that ants are known as well-known cultivators of fungi, and there is a complete paragraph given. Now in the very next year, there was this question: certain species of which one of the following organisms are well known as cultivators of fungi? And obviously the correct answer is level 2 analysis. What is level 2 analysis? We probe the context, as we learned here. The context is already given. We probe that. The context in this question was symbiotic relationship. We just probed fungi symbiotic relationship examples. Similarly, protozoa symbiotic relationship examples, and so on. We came across information, pertinent information, and we were well prepared. We were well prepared for this question in 2022 exam. Let's quickly move ahead. Avinash, Dinesh, do you follow so far, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's quickly move ahead. Now, this is again a very interesting from 2020 prelims paper. 2020 prelims paper. The question had asked, this inscription has been ascribed to whom? And the correct answer was Ashoka. The context here is Ashokan inscription. The context is quite clear. So we search for prominent inscriptions. We open the browser. We search for prominent Ashokan inscriptions. Ashokan inscription basically, at least to the bare minimum, the prominent ones, we should be knowing those, because UPSC has already asked about Ashokan inscription. So we probe using level 2 analysis. We get many results. Now this is from Wikipedia. You'll get the same information in many other sources, which says that Dholi inscription is in Odisha, Yeragudi is in Andhra Pradesh. Similarly, Jawgada is in Odisha, Khalsi is in Uttarakhand. So we know this so far. Now in 2022, there was this question where we had to match the pairs: site of Ashoka's major rock edicts and location in the state of. Dholi, we have just seen it's in Odisha. Yeragudi, it's in Andhra Pradesh. We have just seen Jawgada, it is not in Madhya Pradesh. You have just seen Kalsi. It is not in Karnataka. So what did we do here? Again, we probed the context. Now, this was this question from 2020 Prelims paper. The context was Ashokan inscriptions. We probed for prominent Ashokan inscriptions. We noted down prominent Ashokan inscriptions. And this is again a very interesting example of level 2 analysis, how level 2 analysis helps here using the context. This particular question was one of those 8 questions which asked us to mark whether only one pair is correct, only 2 pairs are correct, only 3 pairs are correct, or all the 4 pairs are correct. So this question and the other similar questions were considered relatively very difficult, because here we needed to have knowledge about all the pairs, right? But here, if we had done level 2 analysis of PYQs using this past year question in 2020, this particular question in 2022 would have appeared relatively easier. Quickly moving ahead, under the analytical pillar head, level 3 analysis. So far, we have learned level 1 and level 2 analysis. Level 1, we just probe the keywords given to us directly by the question paper. Level 2 analysis, we probe the context. We use the context given to us by the question paper, by the PYQ. In level 3 analysis, our analysis and our research becomes very broad based. Here, we probe keywords from different points of view, and certainly level 3 is a very arduous and a very hectic process. So it is not at all advisable to be done on an individual level. Let's understand some examples of it. Now, this was a question in 2020 which asked Rajya Sabha has equal powers with Lok Sabha in. So we did our level 1 analysis, level 2 analysis. We also go a step ahead. We take it on a step ahead and ask ourselves, what about the opposite case scenario? If UPSC has asked a question on Rajya Sabha with respect to how it has equal powers with Lok Sabha, what about the case where it doesn't have equal powers with Lok Sabha, or when Lok Sabha has more powers with respect to Rajya Sabha? Then we just open our Lakshmikant. सौरभ ये स्क्रीन पर क्या दिख रहा है, प्लीज देख लो.
Rajya Sabha cannot remove the council of minister by passing no confidence motion.
ये जो मार्किंग्स दिख रहे हैं, प्लीज इसका कुछ कर दो.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So we move ahead with the level 3 analysis. We look for unequal status with Lok Sabha. Unequal status with Lok Sabha. It is explicitly given in Lakshmikant. We go by it. Point number 10 says that Rajya Sabha cannot remove Council of Ministers by passing a no confidence motion. Fine. Statement 9 again says with respect to emergency can be passed only by Lok Sabha. Discontinuance of national emergency can be passed only by Lok Sabha, and so on. All these points are pretty explicitly given in our basic polity book, Lakshmikant. Now, what is interesting is there was this question in Prelims 2022. Here, based on the preparedness that we had, based on our level 2 analysis, we are quite prepared for this question. Statement 1 and statement 3 are patently wrong. Statement 2 is correct, to pass a motion of no confidence against the Council of Ministers. So again, what we did here, we went for level 3 analysis. Level 3 analysis, we saw this question from 2020 and the opposite case scenario. We looked at it from a different perspective, a different point of view. And we tried to understand the other cases where Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are not equal. So we probed it and we were quite well prepared for this subsequent question in 2022. Moving to the next level of analysis, level 4 analysis. Now this is what we call the Sherlock level analysis. Now for this, we need to have a bird's eye view of the keywords. And in a way, this is a hazardous level. Why? Because this level has the hazard of being swayed away. Now let's take an example for us to have more sense of what does this mean. In 2021, there was this question which said in the nature, which of the following is or are most likely to be found surviving on the surface without soil? The terms were fern, lichen, moss, mushroom. Now our underlying assumption is that name, some keywords in the paper, they hold importance. That's the underlying assumption that we have in our mind. But if that is important, keywords given here are very basic, very general, very generic, like lichen, moss, mushroom. So we zoom out a lot. We zoom out, we cast the net more broader, and we probe it from different points of view. Among the different searches we do, one is finding if Indian mushrooms have been in news for any particular reason. We just search this Indian mushrooms in news. Now we get a plethora of results. Many results. There we prioritize. And one of the result says that this particular mushroom is the world's costliest. Now we are talking in superlative terms. Indian mushroom being the world's costliest. As it is said here, rare feat of successfully cultivating world's costliest edible fungi, Marshall mushroom, commonly known as gukchi. So we noted it, because it is world's costliest. We took a note of it. Again, what it says, collected from wild habitats in northwestern Himalaya. Now in the next year, in 2022 prelims, there was this question. Statement 1, it is a fungus. Yes, it is a fungus. Statement 2, it grows in some Himalayan forest areas. Yes, we have just understood that from our research. Statement 3, it is commercially cultivated in the Himalayan foothills of the northeastern India. That is patently wrong. Here UPSC has used wordplay. Now wordplay is another logical trick that we learn in the Destroy Prelims workshop. Here, the fact is that it is found in northwestern Himalayas. But using wordplay, UPSC has given that it is cultivated in northeastern. So statement 3 is patently wrong. So we are in the correct answer. That is option C, 1 and 2 only is the correct answer. Now let's take one more example of level 4 analysis. This is a question from 2020 prelims paper, and 4 different options were given. So the fourth option D, was 7th schedule. Now we do our different levels of analysis, level 1, level 2. Then we move ahead. We cast the net even more broader. The underlying thought process, a question, or if UPSC has of constitution in the paper, then it is highly likely that schedules of Indian constitution are on the radar of the paper setter, or they are on the radar of UPSC. That is highly likely. So having that strong assumption in mind, we try to probe at least to the bare minimum the basics of all the 12 schedules, at least the basics of all the 12 schedules. Now it is an arduous activity. Among the basics of all the 12 schedules, the basic features of all the 12 schedules, we come across this information as to 5th schedule of the constitution, as to how it restricts or limits the transfer of land. Now what is interesting, in 2022 prelims, there was of the Constitution of India, which one of the following statement best reflects the consequence of it? And obviously the correct answer is A. This would prevent the transfer of land of tribal people to non-tribal people. Now again, what did we do here? We used level 4 analysis, because constitutional schedule was given in a 2020 past year paper in a PYQ, irrespective of it being the right option or the wrong option. It holds importance. It is on the radar of the paper setter. We probe it using level 4 analysis. We probe at least the basic facets, basic features of all the 12 schedules. Okay, so we are well prepared. With this information at the back of our mind, and we attempt this question in 2022, for which we were quite well prepared based on the analysis that we had done on a 2020 prelims paper. Okay, so far, just to summarize what we have learned, the three pillars to attain 120 plus in prelims. The first one is the academic pillar, where syllabus completion, revision, tests is emphasized. Again, we all know this. There is nothing new in this. The second one is the creative pillar, where logical paper solving skills are used. We also saw many examples under the creative pillar. How do we use logical tricks, hacks, logical paper solving skills so as to answer those questions about which we have only partial idea or no idea. So the analytical pillar, which has this component of PYQ based exam preparedness. Basically, we are being prepared for the upcoming exam based on PYQ analysis, and in a way we are predicting. Now, prediction doesn't mean we are blindly picking on questions. We are being prepared for the upcoming exam based on analysis of PYQs. That is what we have learned under the third pillar, which is the analytical pillar of our prelims preparation. Now, to help you guys with both these pillars, pillar number 2 and pillar number 3, Dominate Prelims 2023 program is being running. The two important components of it are Destroy Prelims Workshop, which takes care of the creative pillar. The creative pillar, as we have just understood, logical paper solving skills, how do we use it in the real exam? We learned that in the Destroy Prelims Workshop. Another component of Dominate Prelims is the Predicted Prelims Workshop, which is the analytical component. It takes care of the analytical pillar of our prelims preparation based on analysis of 5 PYQs, 5 years papers. We prepare ourselves quite robustly for the upcoming prelims paper. And at the end, there is also Hacked CSAT 2023, where again, we learn logical skills and hacks very similar to the hacks and skills that we have seen for paper 1. For paper 2, CSAT, hacks and skills can be used to a lot extent so as to maximize our score to clear paper 2. This is given in the context. Paper 2 has been acting as the Achilles heel recently, and even students from IT background have been finding it tricky when it comes to CSAT. So we'll be having hacked CSAT to take care of paper 2. And at the end, as we have discussed so far, fill the form so as to join my Telegram group. The PDF of this webinar will be shared in the Telegram group post webinar. Will be added to a Telegram group and one-to-one detailed mentorship session with my team. So this was all from my side in today's discussion. Now I'll take your questions, guys, one by one. Tell me your name and your question.
Sir, Srijan.
Srijan. Yes, Srijan.
Sir, I have a doubt regarding rule 1 in creative pillar, that XYZ is done by ABC.
Okay.
So, like you said, that in the examples you showed, like the probability of it being wrong is likely high, but this the examiner also knows, and like what is the probability of this coming true? Like it can be seen that in 50% questions.
I understood your point, Sijal. I understood your point.
And so one more doubt is that the examiner
one by one. Let's out of yours, then I'll address your other doubt. Okay, let's first address this. You said the examiner already knows that there is probability of this statement going wrong. That's not the case. Did you know this so far, Srijan?
Some of it. No, so this rule I didn't know, but like some of the examples which you showed in which it's going wrong, I knew that okay, it's wrong.
Exactly. So to reiterate what we have discussed so far, UPSC have been evolving the way it frames questions. Okay, earlier way of asking or giving so-called extreme statements. Now, earlier there was a period where if you just spot all, none, these kind of so-called extreme words, we used to eliminate those statements. Gone are those days. Okay, it has been improvising. That is one thing. Another, as you said, what are the chances? So the simple answer is, when you are using the creative head, or when you are using logical paper solving skill, naturally you are using it because you don't know the correct answer. If you know the correct answer, you won't be using any logic. You don't need any trick when you know the correct answer. Okay? And when it comes to logical skills, it is not a pure science. It is not a pure science where you'll always get 2 + 2, 4 as the answer. Okay? You can go right, you can go wrong, but with practice, as we do in the Destroy Prelims workshop, your chances of getting more right and minimizing your wrong answers increases. That's the idea. I hope you are clear, Zeeshan.
Yes, sir.
Other questions, please. Your name and your question.
Hi, sir. This
Hello.
is Rahis Qureshi.
Sorry, who's this?
Hello. Hi, sir. This is
Guys,
Rahis
please
Qureshi.
speak
Am I
a
audible?
bit loudly. Who's this? Who's
Rahis
this?
Qureshi, sir. Am I audible? Hello.
Yeah. What's your doubt?
Sir, actually, I have a doubt related that to what extent that we should go for PYQ. Means we have a limited time now. We have 80 days only. So let's see that from today we are starting analyzing the paper. So कितने दिन तक like कितने साल का paper ठीक रहेगा? Like if I'm taking 10 years of paper, I'm analyzing that. As you told that at what extent that we need to go in that detail. So हम उस तरीके से जा भी रहे हैं. तो क्या 10 साल का पेपर अगर हम एनालिसिस कर लेते हैं तो is it will be sufficient for us? The first question is this.
First of all, we there is nothing like being sufficient. Nothing would be sufficient. This is UPSC exam, UPSC Prelims exam, which is also called as mother of all exams. कितना भी करेंगे तो sufficient नहीं हो. Having said that, see level 1 analysis, as you can see on my screen, on your screen. जिसमें हम we just probe basic information of PYQs as we just saw. For example, this one, polyethylene terephthalate, basic information. So this is the least taxing. This is the least time consuming on your own. Okay? At an individual level. And number of years. Speaking of number of years, start with first 1 year. 2021 का कर लो. Sorry, 2022 का कर लो सबसे पहले. If you have the luxury of time, go backwards 2021, 2020, 2019. If you have the luxury of time. This is about level 1. And to some extent, level 2 भी हम लोग self basis पर कर सकते हैं to some extent when we probe the context which is already given to us by the paper. But when it comes to level 3 and level 4, I need to reiterate this fact, guys. I need to reiterate perception कि you can endlessly go on with PYQ analysis, and only PYQ analysis is something that will sail you through. That's not the case. That's a false perception. Fine. That's why level 3 and level 4 analysis needs to be done in 2 ways. One, you need to have a close-knit group, a very close-knit group who thinks in that particular fashion. So that's what we are doing in the Dominant Prelims workshop. Plus, you need to do it under the guidance of a mentor. This is what we are doing there. Level 3 and level 4 self level पर अगर करोगे, cost to benefit ratio will be very poor. Okay, I hope that makes sense, right?
Sir, I have one more doubt, sir. Just last doubt.
Yeah.
The thing is that, as you told about the first phase, that one more person actually just before me also told that कि buy वाला अगर system लगाते हैं, तो एक्चुअली में सर वहां पर प्रॉब्लम क्या हो रहा है कि मान लीजिए कि अगर डिफेक्शन है तो इट इज डन बाय द स्पीकर ऑफ द लोअर हाउस. ओके, तो उस केस में अगर इस तरह का स्टेटमेंट आ जा रहा है दैट XYZ इज बीन डन बाय दिस, तो इट विल बी द थिंग वहां पर कि वो तो सर सही हो जाएगा, लाइक स्टेटमेंट सही हो जाएगा.
two things here. First of all, जहां पर नॉलेज है तुमको, स्पीकर के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में तुम बोल रहे हो, यू डोंट हैव लॉजिक. ठीक है, something that is banal, something that is commonly known, fine, वहां पर लॉजिक यूज करने की जरूरत नहीं है. And yes, there will be exceptions where this particular, not only this, the other logical tricks that we learn, wordplay, feasibility test, extrapolation techniques, and so on. ठीक है, there will always be exceptions, and those exceptions we can't learn in one webinar. There is a 10 days workshop for that. This is only to showcase to you guys how powerful the creative component and analytical component can be in our prelims preparation process. Fine. Okay. Other questions, guys? Your names and your questions.
Hello, Zeeshan sir. Lankesh this side.
Yes, Lankesh.
Sir, my doubt is regarding the CSET workshop. I have seen that the mention there is only recorded session. There is why not there is a live session? Because if there is a live session, it will be helpful for us that we can rectify the issue also.
Okay. Fine. This particular webinar is not about CSAT, but yes, I'll answer your question. That's the format of that workshop, CSAT workshop. But again, you will be connected with me through a Telegram group. Fine. So if you have to connect with me, or if you want inputs with respect to broad strategy, okay, you can always ping me in the Telegram group. Otherwise, everything else with respect to teaching, logical skills, tricks, hacks, that has already been done in those recorded sessions. Okay? There you won't have an issue. If you want to connect, if you want to connect, you can connect me through that Telegram group. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Anything else?
Saurabh here.
Excuse me, sir.
Saurabh here. Yes, sir. I want to ask one particular question. That what we should expect from these tricks and tricks. That what is a feasible number of questions that we can do by using these tricks?
I think you are saying how many questions can you solve using these tricks and all,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. The number varies. In 2021, we were able to do. We have discussed all this in the workshop, right? So 33 questions we have solved using logical skills in 2021 paper, and 41 questions from 2022 we have discussed in the Destroy Prelims workshop. So 31 and 42 are the numbers for 2021 and 2022. The number varies, but the number is sizable. Okay. A girl was asking some question.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm Nidhi.
Who is this?
Nidhi.
Yes, Nidhi.
Sir, I have been enrolled in that Smash Prelims course. So, do these things are included in that? Do these things are included in that, or like I have to enroll for this also?
All right. See, existing students of Civilsdaily, probably you'll be getting some concession. You'll have to confirm this from the office, Nidhi. Okay? I won't be the right person to guide you with respect to this. You can join it, but what's the concession and all? Please contact the office for that purpose. Okay?
They told everything will be done.
Nidhi is speaking. Yes, Nidhi.
Everything is done in that same thing.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
So they told me that everything rest will be covered in that Smash Prelims or a thing only.
Okay. No, what's your doubt? You ask whether you can join that particular workshop,
yes,
or
yes.
it is.
Yes, sir.
Definitely you can join. Why can't you join? Anyone can join.
Okay.
It's just that you are an old student. So what would be the concession for you? The office will be able to tell. Okay?
Sir, so basically, I'm sorry to jump
Your
in.
name, please your name and your question.
My name is Saqib, sir. I'm just backing the previous speaker. Basically, she is saying that your course is included in our previous course, the Smash Prelims course. That's what we were told.
You are enrolled in Smash Prelims.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir. UAP 2023.
Okay. So what's your doubt?
Yes,
what's your doubt?
So the doubt is whether your course basically is included in UAP 2023, or is it excluded?
No. It is a distinct course. Smash Prelims is included in your course if you are part of UAP already. Okay. Dominate and Hack CSAT are distinct courses. Fine, Saqib.
Okay. Basically, what we want to confirm is you are not getting us. I'm sorry. So, is your workshop the workshops that you are going to conduct for us? So, what we are saying is the Civilsdaily faculty told us that your workshop is going to be included in the course that we have enrolled for, which is Smash.
In which batch? In which batch are you enrolled in Smash?
So it's UAP 2023.
Okay. No, UAP 2023 students don't have an automatic access to Dominate and Hack. Fine.
All right.
Please confirm from the office.
So
okay,
what do we need to tell them?
Ask them what's the process. If you want to enroll, just ask them what's the process. They'll guide you. Fine.
Sure.
Okay. Yes, others, any questions with respect to what we have learned in today's webinar?
Sir, my name is Rohit, sir.
Rohit. Yes, Rohit.
Sir, I have.
You are not audible, Rohit.
I have registered in the course. Yes, sir.
Okay, you have registered. Fine.
I noticed that
Rohit, do one thing. Switch your camera off. I think there is some network issue on your side. You'll be more audible. Please repeat yourself.
to analyze the past tennis or
Rohit, please post your question in the chat box. I'm not able to hear you.
Sir,
just post your question. I'll take it from there. Others?
Hello, sir. Avinash this sir.
Avinash. Yes, Avinash.
Sir, as one of them has asked कि previous year का जो भी जितने भी options आ रहे हैं, and we have to do some analysis, or you will provide us the detailed work that you have. Means आपकी तरफ से कुछ ऐसा मिलेगा कि हमें ही करना पड़ेगा वो सब चीज.
Okay. What you're asking is, as part of the Dominate Prelims program, will you have to do PYQ analysis on your own? Okay? Or will be helping you out? That's what is your question is, right? Okay. Certainly, if you are part of the program, to be able to be well prepared for the upcoming exam, right? So it won't make sense if we are asking you to join the program and do the PYQ analysis on your own. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Here you'll be getting curated content, fine, that has been curated by me already for the upcoming exam. Fine. So no need to do duplication of efforts. That activity is already being done at our level.
वही सर, मतलब मैं सोच रहा था कि जो भी आफ्टर 2013 मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि प्रीवियस ईयर के क्वेश्चंस में जाके, एज आई हैव लर्न फ्रॉम योर सेशंस, कि उनके ऑप्शंस देखना एंड हाउ दे आर आस्किंग एंड डू रिसर्च ऑफ एवरी टॉपिक, सो इट विल टेक मोर टाइम. सो वही सर, वही कंफर्म करना था कि आपसे वो, आपकी तरफ से वो मिल जाएगा क्या हमें?
Certainly. You don't need to take that headache. That headache is ours, Avinash.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other doubt? अच्छा, कोई ऐसा है? Is there someone who is not part of the Telegram group?
So I'm not, like, I haven't joined your Telegram group, sir. How do I join it?
Just give me just a moment. I'll just share the Telegram group link in the chat box. Give me just a moment.
And sir, I had one more doubt, sir.
Yeah, give me just a moment.
Sure, sir, sure.
Okay, I've shared the Telegram link in the chat box. You can just copy it from there. Okay. Fine. Your doubts, please. Your doubts.
Yes, sir. Saqib here.
Yes, Saqib.
So, yes, sir. So what I do is, like right now, how I approach my studies is, like, as I go back to the previous year questions, I am able to, like, solve them and understand those questions in a much better manner as compared to the questions of various coaching centers. And somehow I'm able to solve a majority of the previous year questions. In fact, the last prelims test as well. Like, what do I make out of it? Like, sort of I falter when I attend my coaching booklets or coaching test booklets. So is there a problem?
What you're saying, Saqib, what you're saying, you are able to make better sense of PYQs compared to your coaching tests, right?
Yes, sir.
So what's wrong in that? Ultimately, it's UPSC exam that will sail you through. Coaching के mock tests देकर हम क्या कर लेंगे? See, let's understand this thing. No institution can match the level of UPSC prelims paper. Fine. When it comes to framing of questions, at max, everyone can try to come close to it. Okay, but no one can match it. If you are able to make sense of PYQs, it's a good thing. Keep doing it. Clear, Saqib?
Yes, sir. Thank you. And I also needed to ask you about the revision strategy. Like, I'm sorry, I'm attending your session for the first time because there are parallel sessions happening when you attend.
Saqib, see, this is an individual question. Your revision strategy.
Yes,
you can join the Telegram group. DM me on Telegram. I'll reply there.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other doubts, guys, before we close the session?
Hello, sir.
Who is this?
Saif Ali, sir.
Sorry?
Saif Ali.
Okay, Saif Ali, tell me.
Sir, जो हिंदी है तो क्या मैं ये ले सकता हूँ?
Okay, Saifali, the sessions are bilingual होते हैं sessions. Majority discussion English में होता है, लेकिन हिंदी का भी use होता है बीच बीच में, ठीक है? ना complete हिंदी होगा, ना complete English होगा, ठीक है? English relatively ज्यादा होगा.
अगर 60 और 40 रख लिया जाए तो मेरे लिए बहुत बेटर हो जाएगा फिर.
I'm saying the same thing. English is relatively more, ठीक है? Hindi is relatively less, but both languages are used. Exact ratio, I won't be able to say 60-40 hai, 70-30 hai, but somewhere around that the ratio would revolve, somewhere around that. ठीक है?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Any other doubt?
Sir, excuse me,
Who's
sir.
this? Ankita, yeah.
Sir, I had just one doubt, sir. जो hacked CSAT course है, is it included in the dominant prelims or is it like a separate course?
No, it is a distinct course. Hack CSAT is a distinct course, Ankita.
So actually, I was inquiring about this dominant. It would be a complementary CSAT module जो included है इस course में. So is this the same or different?
I didn't get your last sentence. Your voice was breaking. Repeat your last sentence.
Sorry, sir. Sir, actually, I was inquiring yesterday about this dominant prelims program at CD. So the person whom I contacted, she told me कि इसके साथ कुछ complementary modules भी आते हैं जिसमें एक CSAT का भी है. So I was asking कि ये hack CSAT वाला अलग है या फिर it's complementary that is included? That is what
I don't know what he said about complementary thing, but these are distinct. Okay, you can club them together. You can enroll in both together. That's a different thing, but these are distinct.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Sir.
Anyone else?
Sir, yes, sir, Navneet here. So I just want to ask how we are going to.
Yeah, Navneet.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes, Navneet, go on, please.
Yes, sir. How we are going to move forward with this course, sir? How we are going to approach these workshops? Can you please explain this?
ठीक है. I'll very briefly convey. See, first of all, you'll get access to all the academic stuff, tests, lectures, and everything through the portal. Portal access mil gaya. There will be a 10 days workshop starting from 13th March. 10 days workshop hogi on logical paper solving skills, which we call as the Destroy Prelims workshop. There will be a gap of 5 days. Again, there will be another 10 days workshop, which is called as Predicted Prelims workshop, where we'll be doing this PYQ stuff, be it concepts, be it facts that are very pertinent with respect to the upcoming paper. Okay? We'll be learning those, memorizing those, okay, in another 10 days. Okay? So that will be the structure of the program, apart from the tests and all, which will go on till roughly 1 week before the exam. Clear, Navneet? Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Any other doubt?
Sir, Kumaresan.
So good evening, sir. Chetan this side.
Chetan. Yes, Chetan.
Yeah.
Yes, Chetan.
So, sir, will the Zoom session will be recorded and will be provided to us, or will be only live sessions that we have to attend?
Dominant prelims, all the sessions will be live. It's only in CSAT. It's only in CSAT. The sessions would be recorded. In dominant prelims, sessions would be live only.
Okay. And sir, the PDFs will be provided, right, for this?
No. PDFs won't be provided.
Okay.
There is a purpose. There is a purpose why PDFs are not being provided. Okay, because if something is provided in PDF format, we tend to take it for granted. Okay, in the workshop, in the Zoom sessions, it will be my responsibility to make you guys understand, to make you guys rectify, memorize things, facts, concepts, which are most pertinent from upcoming exam. If you have it in PDF format, that won't serve the purpose. So our emphasis is on Zoom sessions, not on PDFs. I hope you are clear, Chetan.
Yes, and sir, last one doubt. The test schedule which has been given available to us, or
Discussion of what?
Test schedule that has been given. Test. On the test schedule, answers will be provided to us.
See, whatever has been given in the schedule, that would be accessible. I can't say about the discussion that you're asking. I'll have to confirm. But one thing I can say is you'll have weekly strategy sessions with me. Okay? As to broad maneuvering of your strategy every week. Okay? So that one Zoom meeting every week to streamline your prelim strategy. We'll be having that for sure. For sure.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, Kumaresan.
Before we close, any other doubt?
Sir, Kumaresan.
Kumaresan, yes, Kumaresan.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a doubt related to hack CSAT, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
how long will it take, sir? The sessions are not mentioned in this notification. How long will it take, sir, for hack CSAT?
Okay. See, ideally the workshop, when it is live, okay, that is supposed to be a 10 days workshop. So in this recorded version, you have 14 classes divided into 2 lecture each, right? So roughly 28 or so lectures. Okay? Essentially 14 classes. That's how you'll be covering the entire learnings imparted in that workshop.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Before we close, any other doubt?
Hello, sir.
Yes, Sakshi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I enrolled in Dominate Prelims 2023, but I am a working professional, sir. I got a little or less time in scheduled. I have no scheduled work for my job. So I asked the faculty of your Civilsdaily. They said that we are provided with recorded sessions. But if I'm not able to attend that, will I get the recording sessions?
You will certainly be getting recorded. See, the live sessions will automatically be recorded, okay, and they'll be shared with you. So if you are not able to access the live ones, you can access the recorded ones. Fine.
Yeah.
Sakshi?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other doubt before we close? Kumaresan, Chetan, Saurav, Akash.
I have posted my doubt in the chat box, sir. My name is Rohit.
Rohit. Okay, just let me check it. Are all the tests aligned with the techniques which you will be seeing from PYQs, and therefore the exam is need for us to get back to PYQs again, and please tell the timings of your session. Okay, see the tests that are accessible to you through the portal, those are part of your academic pillar, okay? Don't try to find so very much of the other pillars, creative and analytical. We have separate workshops for those. Predicted prelims workshop and destroy prelims workshop. In the tests, you might be able to use some of these, but those are more academic in nature. And session, Rohit, are you part of?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the timetable has already been pinned in the group. Please find the pinned message.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Nandini is asking, can she get the video of today's session? Okay. I think yes, the video will be shared. Okay, before we close, any last doubt? We'll be taking the last question. कोई question है किसी का? Okay, I believe all doubts are addressed. Fine, guys. It was.
Excuse me, sir.
Who is this? Who is this?
Sir, this is Snehal here.
Snehal.
Yes, sir. So ये जो आपने अभी initiatives बताए कि free initiatives है क्या? और Civilsdaily की website पे?
No, Snehal. These are paid initiatives. I believe you can see these slide on your screen. Dominate, Prelims, Hack CSAT.
Yes, sir. I can see it.
Just go to the pinned message. Just go to the pinned message in the Telegram group. You'll get detailed information about these initiatives. Okay?
Yes.
Fine. So let's stop it here. It was an awesome session, guys. Thanks for being here. Hello. Good night.